Who are we? CEOs. What do we want? AI. AI to do what? We don't know. And when do we want it? Right now. Now, that is the age-old adage of, it's funny because it's true. AI seems to be everywhere these days and talked about by practically every business you can imagine. But sometimes it's chasing AI for the sake of AI. And when you really, get excited about it or caught up in the AI moment, we need to take a moment to stop and think, what do we want it to do? Why is it beneficial for us? What are we going to invest to get it there? So we're going to unpack some of those things today. The first area is automation. It's probably the most obvious one as well. In Power Platform, we have AI Builder, and this is really great and where AI shines on repetitive, rule-based tasks. Think about an invoicing solution where it comes in and it's got loads of information, loads of numbers on it, and needs to be inputted into a system or somewhere else. The AI Builder model can learn what that invoice looks like, read or scrape the data from it, and input it into the system for you, which is a massive reduction in manual handling labour tasks that a staff member would otherwise have to sit and do for every invoice that comes in. But what we must be careful with is it AI or is it just an automation? So other examples would be to use Power Automate as a workflow engine where there's logical decision-based processes that need to be gone through. So do I need to send this email to Joe Blogs under these parameters? That doesn't necessarily have to be AI. It could just be a workflow. So in that scenario, there might be cheaper alternatives like building a flow with some conditions in it and branching it according to how the process follows. So don't just assume because it's automation, it should be AI, but consider it for those more complex, repetitive tasks like the invoice example we gave you. Business decisions is next, and leaders are trying to make better, faster, more informed decisions than ever before on the direction of the company, the strategy we must follow, the right way to do things. And this is often accompanied with large amounts of data to help them make those correct decisions. And this is where we can, for example, in Power BI or Dataverse, layer in an AI model to read that data, do forecasting, do risk detection, or even anomaly detection. Look at this, large chunk of data and find the things that are not so common or don't happen very often. And we can start to dig into why that might happen. So this is where it's going to start giving you more insights because it can display that information back to you in a more explanative way. So a way that is done with text and words rather than just spreadsheets and numbers. For example, we could look at this project or a series of projects, look at the data behind them and make forecasts and predictions as to which ones might run over budget, might run on for too long or not finish it on time. And AI can start telling you those things before they happen. So you can start making faster, better decisions based on the data available without having to really understand the model in a very detailed way. Chatbots have long been on the rise in customer services. They're no new thing, but with the rise of AI, they're getting faster, more intelligent, and more powerful than ever before. One of the big problems with a chatbot of old is they would need to be developed by someone with technical knowledge and skills, and sometimes the benefit of a chatbot comes from the understanding of the material it's talking about. So in customer services, knowledge of how to understand the person's problem, find the right answer, is somewhere lost between the developer and the person on the front line talking to the customer inquiry. So that can sometimes be difficult to translate into a chatbot. Not anymore though, because with Copilot Studio, actually those chatbots and agents can be built by the people on the front line with the low or no code approach to delivering those. But not only that, we can now use AI models to apply chatbots to your websites or knowledge sources, and it will instantly know all of the things it needs to talk about and is great at handling first time common queries. An example I often give with this one is human resources. Imagine a mailbox for human resources where there's lots of questions coming in around sickness, holiday, etc. And generally speaking, the answer to most of those queries is it's in the company policy. So rather than having to field those questions directly, a chatbot monitoring the mailbox can pick up the query, understand in natural language what's being asked of it, and then go off to the knowledge source, which would be the policies, and find the appropriate answer to respond, thus enabling the HR representative or agent to be able to deal with the more complex queries that maybe are lost in the fringes sometimes of the volume of queries that come in, and they can deal with the more sensitive issues and support that are required on a day-to-day basis for an organisation. And as a final really good example of where AI can be very valuable is the governance. Now, I've done quite a few videos on governance. It's a hot topic of mine, and one that I think organisations need to take a great deal of responsibility in when it comes to Power Platform, data management and governance. But that's a separate topic. That's for other videos that I've got that you can feel free to browse and watch. What we want to talk about here is how can AI help us with governance? And this comes back to what are we trying to do? We're trying to understand where the risks are, how is it made safe, how are people using data, and so on. So AI can be used as a monitoring tool. If we applied AI to monitor things like the data loss prevention policies that we have in place, the applications being built, it can actually tell us when and if, or even suggest what might in the future become a potential data breach. So we can then intervene ahead of time. And the reason why I think this is powerful is lots of governance solutions in the past are more reactive than proactive. And we try and be proactive with the strategies and the securing it and making it safe side of things. However, if it happens to be a data breach, that could be something that the organisation has to financially pay for, reputational damage. And we're trying to fix things after the fact. Where AI can come in is it can enhance what you've built as a governance strategy and start giving you indicators to where you might have problems in the future, so you can solve them and ready them ahead of them becoming a data breach, thus saving you money. And in my opinion, this is probably the area that most organisations should invest quite heavily in across the organisation, not just in Power Platform. Preemptive, protecting data before it becomes a breach rather than after the fact and trying to deal with and clean up afterwards. So going back to the question, AI to do what? Well, at least you'll have some ideas now. Automate repetitive tasks that are complex and can be very repetitive. Make smarter business decisions, particularly when there's lots of data involved and you need to understand it before making that decision. Improving customer and employee relationships and experiences. Getting the information your organisation already has at the fingertips of the people that need it. And my personal favourite, keeping your organisation compliant and secure when it comes to data governance and telling you about it before the fact, not after. These are just some of my examples. If you've got ideas or have implemented a great AI solution for your organisation, or just want to chat further about AI, pop it in the comments. I'll respond, like, share, and who knows, one of your comments may become the topic of a future video. So for now, I've been Daniel Halls. This has been Power Platform Principles. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow along for any future videos.